Okay. So, some things have come up in conversations that I've been having with a few people. And so I thought it would be nice to kind of address the whole community to clarify some things that these people brought up that it would be, I think, very helpful for everybody to hear. So one thing is like how to relate when your teacher gives you an instruction, okay? Or you ask a teacher, can I do this? Can I do that? Whatever, and they say yes, or maybe they say, no, that's not such a good idea. Then what happens? How do you relate? Well, if the teacher says, if you say, I want to go to Antarctica and open a Dharma center, if your teacher says yes, and there's enough students in Antarctica, and the finances are there, then yes, that's fine. You asked, and they said yes, then you go. Okay. But if you asked to open the Dharma Center in Antarctica, and your teacher says no, it would be better if you open a Dharma Center on an iceberg at the North Pole instead. Okay, but you really have your heart set on going to Antarctica. You love those penguins, okay? And you want to be with them. But your teacher's telling you to do the opposite of what you want to do. Okay, so person A then goes around to the other people in the monastery and says, I want to open a Dharma center in Antarctica, and my teacher said, no, I should do it on an iceberg in the Arctic Circle. What do I do? Did she really mean it? Yeah. So somebody comes and asks you that because you say, I really want to go with the penguins. I don't want to go to art. So what do you do? Somebody's asking you. Yeah. Do you say yes, follow your teacher's instructions? Or do you say, actually, go ask again and give her all the reasons why you are the perfect person to teach the penguins. Nobody else. You are perfect. And then maybe she'll change her mind. Okay. So which one do you say? Do you say, follow the instructions, or do you go say, go ask again?
Follow the instructions.
Follow the instructions. Okay. Why?
Because it's your teacher.
It's your teacher, and your teacher may have some insight into what you need to do at a particular time that you don't have because your mind is so fixed on, I want this, and you can't see the whole situation. So what your teacher is telling you is not what you want to hear. Okay? So if you yeah, that's the way to do it. Your teacher said, go, you pack your bag, don't take your bathing suit, take some warm clothes, and, go to that iceberg in the Arctic. Okay. You don't go and ask your teacher again and say, I'm really the best person, and you don't know, it is my heart's passion to go to Antarctica and teach the penguins, and I'm fully qualified. I have no hindrances to doing that, no hindrances. And your teacher's sitting there thinking, well, you say you don't have any hindrances, but I don't think you have any warm clothes either. And I think maybe you're a little bit idealistic about Antarctica. And also, your parents are not going to be happy about you picking up and going there because they want to go to Hawaii where it's hard. They don't want to go visit you with the penguins. Your teacher sees that, but you don't see that. Yeah. So you keep asking, and your teacher keeps giving the same answer. I'm frustrated. They should just, I know what I want to do and I'm ready to do it. Okay, you ever been in that situation? Yeah, some of you have been. Yeah, some of you maybe haven't. I was in that situation when I asked my teachers if I could ordain, because they had a policy, Lama Yeshe Lama Zopa, if you wanted to ordain, you had to go back from Kopan, back to the West, to your country, work for a whole year and earn money. Yeah, and clear up any family issues, clear up whatever you get rid of all your stuff, get your vaccinations, do everything. Then they said, come back, and at that time you request ordination. Okay, so I of course didn't want to do that. I had known the Dharma however many months. I loved the Dharma. I thought it was fantastic. I knew I wanted to ordain. Yeah. And I could, and I went and asked, and they said, wait, I don't want to wait. I'm ready. I have no obstacles. And my teachers are sitting there going, well, you're married. Yeah, you better clear that up. Also, your parents just wrote you a letter and they're totally freaking out. You need to take care of that. You don't have very much money and you need to support yourself while you're here because they were refugees, And what was the other one? All your stuff is in somebody's storage thing in the US and you got to get rid of it, kid. And then you come back. You can't have your whole storage of all your lace stuff in the US while you come over here and ordain. If you're going to ordain, you got to get everything fixed now before you ordain, even before you take the 8 precepts, before you take anagarika. You've got to get everything cleared up, because if you don't, then you may rush and take even anagarika. And then what happens? We've seen that happen at the Abbey a few times. Yeah. Then people go into crisis. Well, you're happy for like 2 days. And then it's like, oh no, what did I do? I have all that stuff back wherever maybe I need to go get it and bring it here to the Abbey. But it's like 500 pounds. No, it's 5,000 pounds. And I need one of those big things, to pack it all in and bring it here. I'm sure they'll let me bring it. It won't be a problem. Right. Yeah, you're going to bring all your collection of Beatle records and, all your whole scrapbook of everybody you ever went out with. And, you're going to bring that to the monastery, And so you don't understand. You go into crisis. And then you're like, I ordained. But, oh no, my parents are still freaking out. They won't speak to me. What do I do? Do I go back now? I'm ordained. Do I go back now? If I go back now to settle things with my family, do I wear robes? Do I wear lay clothes? Do I eat at night if my parents offer me food, or don't I eat at night? What do I do? Oh, I don't know. I am so confused. And the whole rest of, you remember that? We had a few people like that. And it affects the entire community because you are cattywampus. Yeah, did I say it right? You are cattywampus, and the whole community's trying to go on, and you're in your own individual crisis. You know, maybe you're off taking walks, maybe you're crying in the bathroom, maybe you're throwing temper tantrums and throwing Buddha bear around, and the whole rest of the community has to live with it. So you see that it's actually better, you know, to give your teachers some credit. Maybe they, you know, knew that you had some things that you needed to clear up first, and that you would be much happier as a monastic if you cleared that up first and then ordained. Okay, so my teachers said no, go back, get everything clear. I didn't want to. I wanted to ordain right away, but I followed my teacher. Because if I wasn't going to follow my teacher's instructions, why do I want to ordain with that person as my teacher? Hmm?
Why do you have a teacher if you're not going to follow it?
Exactly.
You're an adult.
Exactly. Why do you have a teacher if you're going to just disagree all the time and think that they're stupid and they don't know anything? Okay. So I went back, you know, I did the best I could to clear everything up. When it was all cleared up, as best as I could do, yeah, then I went and I asked again. And that time, Rinpoche said yes. And so then I picked up and I, you know, went back to India and I ordained. And, you know, even though it slowed me down by a year and a half because I was ready to go. Yeah. But thinking about it later, I am really glad that I followed their advice, because I did have things that I needed to clear up in my own mind, and things, physical things, all my junk and storage that I needed to clear up before I ordained, okay? So there's 2 points here, okay? If there's somebody who doesn't agree with what their teacher, they asked for like ordination, or they want to go to Antarctica, and, you know, they already have the design of the Dharma Center, you know, that the logo of the Dharma Center with a penguin with the wheel of Dharma at its heart. Yeah, it's so cute. They have it all set up, you know, and they come to you and I say, what do I do? You know, my teacher told me do something else. Yeah, if somebody's asking for you or your advice on something like that, do you say, well, yeah, go back and tell them that, you know, you want to go to Antarctica, you don't want to go to the Arctic Circle? Is that the advice you give somebody who's coming to you? Hello?
No.
Yeah, that's not the advice. Yeah, what do you say to that person? Follow your teacher's instructions. Okay, so then that person doesn't have to go and ask every single person in the monastery about what to do, because we've also had that happen sometimes. Yeah, and then the seniors are together and it's like, oh, they asked you and you and you and you. You know, it's like they don't listen to anybody. Well, no. Okay. So that's the lesson for the person who's being asked. Yeah. For the person who doesn't agree with what their teacher said, yeah, then maybe they should try doing it and see if, if following their teacher's instructions, their teacher sees something that would, if they did this, it would really help them clear obstacles up. Give, like you said, if you don't want to follow the instructions, why have the teacher? Why go and ask? Just go do what you want. Okay. Um, so so that's something to really consider. Yeah. If your teacher asks you to do something unethical, okay, your teacher says, go rob that bank, and then after you've robbed the bank, then take the money to Antarctica and put it, open a bank there and open your Dharma center. Then if your teacher says do something illegal, breaking precepts, you say, no, I can't do it. Okay? And you explain why. Yeah. If you have health problems and your teacher says go to the Arctic, but when you're in cold climates like that, you come down with the heebie-jeebies and you can't function, then you go to your teacher and say, I heard what you said, I'd like to do it, but I get the heebie-jeebies. Yeah. And then once you describe to your teacher what the heebie-jeebies are, then they may say, yes, yeah, don't go to Arctic Circle. You can go to Hawaii after all. Okay. Then you say, but I don't want to go to Hawaii either. I want to go to Antarctica. At that point, the door is over there. No, the teacher doesn't say that, but maybe you get the idea that you aren't at the right monastery. Yeah. Okay, so just something to think about, yeah, for the community to think about and for people who request things to think about. Okay, your teacher is not a dictator, but do give them some credit for knowing something. Yeah, I also had the situation where after I left Italy, my wonderful experience in Italy, then I went to France. Lama was teaching there, and I went for teachings. And at the end of the teachings, he said, will you stay here in France and be the SPC? What is SPC? Spiritual Program Coordinator, And at that point, I was so exhausted, so burnt out. There's no possible way I could have done that job. So I had to say, Lama, please excuse me, I really can't do that. Yeah. And he said, fine. Yeah, and then I did something else. Yeah. So it wasn't like, you're telling me something I don't want to do and I'm being a rebellious kid. It was, I couldn't do it. I was so exhausted.